Hey, you ever been to Chancellor Park? That's where I live. My name is Tavin Dillard, and I live in a trailer park called Chancellor Park, and I mow lawns. I'd like to introduce you to my town. I've been making YouTube's videos since about 2006, and then I've transitioned over to other platforms like the TikToks and the whatnot. But here on this podcast, I'd like to clue you into what's going on with me here lately. And this is like the pre-introduction. Now I'm going to send it off to myself for the real introduction. I'm glad you joined me. Bink, bink.
Welcome to the Tavin Dillard Podcast, y'all guys. We are at Season 4 and the very first episode of this Season 4. So we calling it this Episode 1. That's how that go. Now, I did not go to school for podcasts. Truth be told, I went to school because I had to. Even graduated high school, but I didn't get a Letterman jacket. I did have like a knockoff members only jacket that had important sports headlines stapled to it. It seemed like a good idea at the time. But anyhow, the reason I say all that is because I don't know how you posted bite-up seasons, but basically now that I decided what I've been doing on this podcast, because that's how these first 3 seasons already went, is like every 15 episodes, I start a new season. I can't remember if Season 1 went 15 episodes, but I kind of think it fell short of that. Season 2 and 3, they went 15 episodes, and back at the end of Season 2, there was a question, do I keep going with this? Yeah, it's fun to do. It ain't like a huge audience or nothing. But looky here, during Season 3, the podcast audience like tripled. That means it went 3 times as much. A little more than that, I think, truth be told. So it's been growing. And you know why? Because of you. Y'all been rating the podcast, sharing it, so forth, and front ways. And we go here into Season 4 now, and I appreciate it. I'm excited. You know about that? Well, it ain't like a new year or nothing. It's just like a podcast season. But if you've been keeping up, we in the middle of our summer league softball season right now, which I want to get to in a minute, but I have something else I want to share with y'all. First of all, we had the Q&A. Actually, I'm going to get to that in a minute too. Last week's to wrap it up, but it's been a busy times. It's just been a busy week, a lot of new stuff coming out. I got them Bink stickers that came out last week or 2 ago. I don't know what else. And Early Bird, Get the Perm shirt has landed, but here's the big news. Speaking of shirts, and if you on my text message list, 501-322-6249, and you know about the podcast shirt kind of launched this week. Now, a lot of people on my text message list, that y'all are podcast fans, because this is where I promote that number the most, probably, is the podcast every week here. And then I thought the other way to tell people there's a podcast shirt is on the podcast, because who would want to wear a podcast shirt except folks to probably listen to this podcast? So the shirt has landed. There's a link in the show notes today for the Tavin Dillard Podcast t-shirt. You can check that out if you're interested in that. And then there'll be a link for the other things, like my number and my email, how to get in touch with me. And I may put a link to all my shirts there, but especially that first one's going to be, the new Tavin Dillard Podcast t-shirt. So that's how that goes. It's August now, and I don't know about y'all's county fair, but ours is next month, and I'm anticipating that thing so hard right now, I can't wait. But I gotta wait. And I'll keep you updated on that here on the podcast as the county fair approaches, what's going on. I'll let y'all know. Y'all might know I like butter. Speaking of fairs and county fairs, years ago, I put together a butter song, and I thought maybe my friends here on the podcast would want to hear it. And who knows, maybe I'll shoot a new music video for it at some point. Some fairs, they got deep fried butter. You know about that? Well, it's like a regular, anyway, what I'm about to show y'all, it's like a regular, it's less than 2 minutes long, but it's called the Butter Song. So I'm going to be back after that, but I thought, hey, we'll kick off Season 4 with a little music from yours truly. And well, I kind of came up with the song idea. I ain't the music guy. I had folks help me with that. But anyway, for now, sit back and enjoy Tavin Dillard's Butter Song. Okay, without further ado and further ado, I present to y'all the Butter Song.
Well, once upon a time at the dollar store, somebody asked what I was thankful for, and it took me a second to reply. No, it wasn't that long, I can't lie. I hunkered down and I stared him in the eye. When's the last time you had a biscuit dry? You could hear a pin drop at that dollar store when I said the thing I'm most thankful for is butter. You can put it on cornbread and biscuits too. They're so
much that you can do. Baby green peas, butter's heaven sent. Butter for mayor, butter for president. Cast your vote with your taste buds. Butter, butter, butter makes it better, boy. Time to get it turning. Butter, butter, cause butter's the grease that keeps the world turning. You might have a grandbaby growing tall, spending her money at the shopping mall, but the very best thing she can learn in life is how to spread butter with a knife. Every meal worth speaking of is wrapped up in a little butter love. So here's my message from the land of the free. Spread that butter from sea to shining sea. You can put it on cornbread and biscuits too. There's so much that you can do. Hot pancakes, butter's heaven sent. Butter for mayor, butter for president. Stand with me now. Butter, butter, butter makes it better, boy. Time to get it turning. Butter, butter, cause butter's the grease that keeps the world turning. Ain't that true? What'd y'all think? I tapped my toe to that. You know I will. It's hard not to think about butter when I think about the county fair on pretty much any other meal I like to eat. Any time of the year I think about butter too. County fair though, a little bit more maybe. But I got to get focused back on the task at hand. Softball league. Team Burger Shed has actually played 2 games since the last update. So we got to get into that. I will say as a reminder, the last update I gave, we was 3-1-2. That's 3 wins, only lost once, and tied 2 times. So how'd we do the 2 games since the last update? Well, stay tuned. We got a lot to cover. I do want to say that I appreciate y'all who sent in questions for last week's Q&A. That's questions and answers. Like y'all provided the questions, and did I answer them? Excuse me, boy, I'm really working up a little energy here. I hope y'all enjoyed that. I sure did last week. You know, this is like a radio show. You think 100 years ago, it was the roaring 20s, and the radio, that's all the rage. Ragtime, flappers, and whatnot. Well, here we are, back to the basics again. Except you probably ain't gathered around a floor radio with the neighbors after a hard day of taking a horse to town to fetch sundries at the mercantiles. Who knows? Maybe you did do that today. I did not, though. I got other things to do, like help Memaw figure out her futon dilemma. You know about futons? They still a thing for sure, but they ain't the height of the popularity, as they say, like they used to be. Well, my Memaw has a futon, and it has seen better days, y'all guys. She wants a regular couch now. Right now in her living room, she got a love seat, and she got that futon I'm talking about. Well, that futon, it was off-white, cream-colored oatmeal, I don't know, something like that. And now it's even more off-white, and I'm pretty sure there's real oatmeal caked on it. I know Tabby Jean Tipton, that's Memaw's best friend. She ate plenty, I mean healthy amounts of watermelon on it before. So there's watermelon juice like caked into that too. And that don't come out easy. My brother Brett has slept on it countless nights, and that's just gross. He stole one of Memaw's Snickers bars once. That's like the ultimate no-no. And then he fell asleep on the futon with that Snickers bars in his pocket. Well, he slept kind of like a tornado, and somehow he popped that wrapper, that package, that Snicker bar comes in, you know, a little wrapper that a Snicker bar comes in. It's a wrapper that's wrapped in a wrapper. It's got the name on the front, on the wrapper. It says Snicker bar on it. Well, it popped. You seen him. And then he's turning this way and that way on a futon, just smearing that caramel, nougat, peanuts, and chocolate every which way. Well, Memaw thought he messed his britches on her futon, and you'd think that'd make her the maddest. Oh, no. When she found out that he had made that mess with one of her Snickers bars, you might as well have told her that the trailer burnt down. I mean, that news hit her hard. But not as hard as Brett got hit with the business end of a broomstick, and he hauled tail out of her trailer, and that whole time Memaw was yelling, "You gonna buy me another candy bar?" But didn't he know it. And you can't fit a futon into a washing machine. I mean, there was a time when Memaw would squirt that thing with like a stain remover and kind of scrub it, but you know, it gets to the point where you kind of just give up on that. And Memaw, she got to the point where she was like, who am I trying to impress here? Memaw said, folks need to impress me. If I'm inviting you to visit my trailer, you did something right. You get to see me. That's how she say it. And that's what she do. She keep a tidy enough trailer. I mean, not the cleanest in the world. She'll tidy it up a little more if she know, folks are going to come over. But she do it that way. Her biggest problem is finding more wall space and real estate inside that trailer for that baby doll collection of hers. She got to the point where she'll rotate them out now. Some go in boxes under the bed, and then some rotate back out on the shelves in that front room. She's serious. Only thing worse than Brett taking that Snickers would have been something happening to that baby doll collection. So anyhow, long story longer, Memaw wants to get rid of that Futon. And you know how when you got something for a while, it's like a big deal to you? Like it's been your main futon or main whatever, pair of boots, pair of long creased breeches, whatever it may be, you had it, you like it, and so you think everybody else need to love this thing as much as you do, and when you go and sell it, there's going to be like a bidding war and you'll probably end up making $1 million off this thing. Well, that ain't what happened. It went from $50 futon to $45 to $25 to $10 to free to Memaw. If you don't let me and JT Whitlow take this to the curb, we're going to have to pay to have somebody to come pick it up. About to start costing us. And that's when it gets insulting. Like, we really like it, but it's about to start costing you money just to get rid of the thing. I mean, I seen a mama squirrel leading her babies around that futon outside like, we ain't touching that thing, y'all babies. I ain't giving y'all another bath today. Now, I don't know actually how squirrel baths work, but that's just my best guess. And why them squirrels seen that futon and was like, no thank you, I may be a wild animal, but I got standards kind of thing. I think that speaks volumes to the condition of this futon that we got outside of Memaw's trailer. So JT Whitlow and me get permission to take that futon all the way to the curb by the street. Done. Ricky Briggs will pick it up. He's the trash man. Well, here's what happened. You know, it's out by the curb, and I go to the softball game, which I need to give you an update on here shortly. And that evening, when I was coming back into the trailer park from our softball game, it was gone. And by it, I mean that futon that me and JT Whitlow set out by the curb, you know, just earlier that afternoon. I figured somebody seen it, and for some weird reason, they wanted it. And maybe they was going to have a bonfire somewhere. I don't know, but that ain't my problem. Reason I knowed somebody had to take it, though, was because the trash ain't run in the evening while I was at my softball game. That's not how that works. You know, the trash guy will come in the morning, but he ain't coming after supper time, you know, late afternoon, early evening. That's not how it goes over here. So I decide, you know, just to drop by Memaw's trailer before I head back to my trailer. I mean, I actually have to pass my trailer because she's a couple trailers up. You know, go knock on her door, just check on her, and then I go back to my trailer. Well, I knock on that door of her trailer, and she answers that, and what do I see over her shoulder in her trailer? It's a futon. And not just any futon. That nasty, weathered, off-white oatmeal, watermelon juice, and Snicker bar caked futon that me and JT Whitlow taken to the curb earlier that day. Earlier that day. Can you believe it? Me neither, y'all guys. Me neither. Could not believe it. I said, Memaw, why is that futon back in your trailer? She said, it's fine. I said, how's it fine? You said you wanted to get rid of that to make room for a couch. She said, I changed my mind. Trash truck runs tomorrow, Memaw. I can get JT and run it back out there. She shook her head. You know how somebody shakes their head? It's like left to right, right to left. It ain't up and down, front way. You know, it ain't nodding your head. Nodding your head is agreeing, like saying, yeah, I like that. And shaking her head is like, nope, I don't like that idea. So that's what she's doing to me. Now she got a futon in her trailer that folks don't want to sit on when they go there anyway. I told her that too. I said, folks ain't going to want to sit on this now, Memaw. And you just wasting space because folks ain't, that's just soon stand than sit on that thing. And it stinks too. I didn't mention that part. Smells like a wet dog crossed with a feral wood chimp with a cheek full of broccoli and a little warm. Now, I know warm ain't really a smell, but Memaw's futon smelled a little warm anyway. So that's where we at. Memaw was so ready to say goodbye to that futon till she wasn't. I just went back to my trailer because that was after my softball game. And we got to rewind the clock a little bit now, actually, because I got that game and the game before that to catch y'all up on because they've been two games since the last time I gave a softball update. Now, this last week on Instagrams and TikToks, if you follow me on there, I gave a little kind of a sliver of update on that one game that was happening the week I did the Q&A, but I didn't do no podcast update that week because I was doing the Q&A, the question and answer. So anyways, here we are. I will say that Team Burger Shed is playing pretty good ball and pretty good softball. You know, you might think, okay, you're playing pretty good tetherball, ping pong ball, tennis ball, No, I'm talking about the league we play in and the sport we play as a team is, and that's a good ball that we play in softball. We all feeling pretty good these days. I ain't saying we winning every day. In fact, you might remember me saying that we was 3-1-2 last update I gave. Well, a week ago, that game we played was a wild one. How wild? Well, between the two teams, 23 runs got scored total. Now, in just a sec, I'll explain how we divided that between them two teams. We played Guthrie's Hutton Supply. They a pretty good team. But you know what? So is Team Burger Shed. Russell Tucker put me in his pitcher. He basically the manager, like he do our lineup now. At the beginning of when we put this team together, Mort Dwidell and Myron Curtis, believe it or not, they's like the catalyst. They's the one that put the team together. They's kind of coaching, but that ball throw pretty quick. Myron just started dating Mary Beth Tucker's Heads in the Clouds. You can go listen to season 1 of the podcast if you want to hear what kind of circus that was. But anyhow, Russell Tucker, he doing the lineup, and he's putting me at the pitcher. He started me at the pitcher. That's where I started the game. And I'm a lefty. Y'all might know that about me, but it's the truth. I'm a lefty. Now, in softball, that don't really matter when you're a pitcher because it's just kind of lobbing that thing right down the middle. I mean, sometimes I toss it up there, and it'll arch so high into the air. It's slow and easy and just kind of lob it up there. And sometimes them old boys, they can't wait, and they swing so hard and so early that they just about hurt themselves. They hurt their back if they ain't careful. I mean, adult softball league, we ain't practicing. Most of us ain't stretching. So there you go. I mean, there are times when that's all you need. Just lob it up there, and them old boys get too anxious. They swing too early, and they get under it, and they just pop it up like a pop fly. And just about everybody on our team, I'd say everybody on our team does a pretty good job at it. Just a basic pop fly, just standard pop fly, just pop fly in the air. Where the ball go up in there, it's pop fly, and you just wait for that thing to come down. And gravity take over, pull that ball down. But you got to get under it with that glove. You got to get under it with that glove, and you got to make sure you catch that thing. But that's what happened when they get too anxious. They pop that thing right up. Well, other thing is, I take a little bit of that arc off the ball, and it go more straightforward, and I might put a little more mustard on it. That's just a saying. I don't really put mustard on the ball. I don't think that's legal. They don't want you slopping that ball up like a hot dog, mustard, ketchup, onions, relish, any of that. You can't be doing that. Now, at the concession stand, if you ask me, that's all you need. Hot dogs with any of them toppings, and then some Skittles, some sodas, some snow cones, sometimes nachos, but that ain't the luxury we got at the concession stand in our town. Mary Beth Tucker's running that thing, and who knows what she gonna bring. She already tried stuff this summer. She went into the bleachers like a ballpark vendor. Hot dogs here kind of thing, except it wasn't hot dogs, it's snow cones. She didn't plan it well. She put snow cone ice in a cardboard box, and that ice don't keep in the summertime. Just trying to get from the concession stand to the bleachers, how that gonna go? Exactly how you think it gonna go. And she didn't bring all the flavors to the bleachers. She's having to run to and fro, as they say, just hustling back. I gotta go get the lemon lime flavor, and she's running to get that. Well, by the time, all the while, the sun's saying, hello, snow cone ice, just melting it, steady melting that thing in a cardboard box. Well, let's get into these 23 runs between Guthrie's Hunting Supply and Bud's Burger Shed. Seemed like one team or the other was scoring every run every inning. Somebody was. Seemed like highlight of my season so far at the plate, I'll tell you that right now. I was up in the second inning. We was already ahead 6-4. So I'm telling you, there wasn't no shortage of runs. We in inning number 2, and it's already 6 runs to 4 runs, and Bud's Burger Shed, Team Burger Shed, our team, we was ahead. Well, Rusty Tidwell was on third after he hit a double, and Rance Farnhart hit a single. It was shallow, and Rusty couldn't make it home from second, but he got to third, so we got runners on first and third. Well, Russell Tucker, he put me behind Rance Farnhart in the lineup tonight, and I made contact. And I can usually make some good contact, but lots of times I make contact, I just hit it to somebody, and it ain't always hard. I'll hit a dribbler up the line and whatnot, but that ain't what happened in the second inning here, y'all guys. Something a little bit different happened. I'm telling you right now. I'm about to tell you right now what happened. I seen that ball, and I swinged at that thing like it's a skeeter on my neck at dusk. I mean, I gave it my all, and guess what? Firstly, I think I closed my eyes at some point. I tell you I seen the ball, but boy, when I hit it, I didn't see it because my eyes were done closed at that point, and I was just steady swinging with everything I got. And guess what happened? I hit that ball over their right fielder, and I ran. Rusty trotted home. Rance turned on the speed, and I ended up at second base. And usually I'm there because I stole it, not because I hit a double. It's a big deal. That was my first double of the season. and that put us up 8-4. So now we scored twice as many runs as they had. And Guthrie's Hunting Supply, they know how to put a hurting on that softball. So, we was pretty happy we was up like that. Well, somewhere around the 4th inning, when it was now 10-7, we was up. Mort Dwidell's wife, Glenda, shuffled over from her car in the parking lot. It's a light maroon Nissan Maxima, and she seemed worried. And she's over there at the chain link trying to get Mort's attention. He's at first base because he's playing first base, and he look over at her, and she making noises, and she trying not to be loud. But it's worse because she making kind of quiet, weird noises, making them over by the fence, and we all looking now, and we wondering what in the world's wrong with her. Side note, she runs Uptown Gallus, a women's clothing store in town. Anyway, she's saying, Mort, you got to sign the paperwork before they drop it off. Now, nobody know what she's talking about. But that's what she's saying. Mort, you got to sign that paperwork. Now, Mort's over there at first base, and he's been trying to play softball because he on Team Burger Shed. He got his little jersey on. He had to get a new one because he got one that was a little too snug, and now he got one that's fitting a little better because he left one at a water park a couple weeks back. Anyhow, now we all kind of interested, but we also a little distracted by what in the world's going on with Glenda at the chain link and Guthrie's Hunting Supply. They hit one right to Mort. He ain't ready. And that ball just goes into the outfield. And I was out there at that point because I wasn't pitching no more. And it's 10-7 till he hit that. But then, here's what happened. It was still 10-7. Guy get on first base because Mort not paying attention. Next guy up hit a home run. Now we at 10-9. Now we winning, but now we winning by just a little tiny bit, 10-9. We got out of that inning though with no more damage, so that's that. We feeling pretty good, like we dodged a bullet kind of thing. Turns out though, what happened was that Mort and Glenda ordered a trampoline from Lady in the Trampoline. They'll deliver them to your house. Well, somehow on the paperwork, only Mort can sign for it, so they're gonna drop it off. But they said we ain't gonna drop it off. And Glenda's worried because they had a party planned the next day, and apparently the trampoline was a big part of that party. So she's trying to get Mort to go home to sign this thing, otherwise they can't deliver for a few days and the party gonna be over. So that's what happened. Mort went home during our game and it was 10-9. We was winning when he left. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but we ain't got no subs. So Russell Tucker moved to first base, and me and Rance Farnhart, we patrolled the outfield, just the two of us. Guthrie's got some good hits. In them late innings, boy, they turned it on, and in the end, by the end of the game, they beat us 13-10 for a total of 23 runs in that game. No free snow cone for Team Burger Shed. But wait, there's more. That was 2 games ago. There was another game this week. And spoiler alert, we won that one. So if you do semi-decent math, and you ain't gotta, you know that our record is 4 2s and 2s. That's 4 wins, 2 losses, and 2 ties. Not bad. Plenty of season ahead still, y'all guys. I was 2 for 5 in this week's game. That's you go to bat, you stand in the batter's box 5 times, and 2 of those times you get a hit. Back to hitting singles and stealing bases this week. No double or nothing like that. I got a grape snow cone. Tangerine's my favorite, but when I just can't decide, I say grape because it's always good. And chances are, and truth be told, I had a lot of tangerine already this summer, so that's why I go with the grape. Mort was back for this week's game that we won, and he said that Lady in the Trampoline, they showed up and did real good work, and he set that up, they set that up in his yard. They set the trampoline up for him. He got a front yard trampoline now, and they live right off the highway. More power to him, but ain't nothing going to stop a station wagon full of kids pulling over, knock on his door, or not knock on his door, just kick off them flip-flops and sneakers and jump away on that front yard trampoline. I mean, that's the way I see it. So, Mort and Glenda, they got a new trampoline, and Memaw, she got an old futon to the curb and back, dirty as ever. I guess her redecorating's on hold until she tried to make more room for them baby dolls, and then she motivated to get stuff moved again. Memaw loved them baby dolls. So, Team Burger Shed, we in a pretty good position to really make some progress. Things are really clicking, I think. And Mort, he ain't going to get a new trampoline every week, so we ain't always going to have that distraction. So that's how that goes. And I'm so glad to be here with you on season 4 of the podcast, y'all guys. I hope you are able to tap your toe to the butter song. We got a lot ahead this season. County Fair next month. I'm getting geared up. I got some news about that in one of these upcoming podcasts, but I won't spoil it now. I sure appreciate y'all joining me here, for sharing this podcast, for rating it, for liking it, and join me on the Instagrams, the TikToks, the YouTubes. I'm all over there. I'm even on the Twitters at Tab and Dillard. And shoot me a text this week, 501-322-6249. Let me know how you're doing. And that first link in the show notes today is going to be to the Tab and Dillard podcast shirt. You can check it out and get you one if you want one. But thank y'all for rating this podcast, for sharing it. And we got all them other shirts there too. The No Pro Fishing shirt, which I got some more fishing videos soon. I've been out with my buddy Cliff Pace. Cannonball shirt, turkey salmon, early bird gets the perm, you name it. Check the link for that merch in my show notes. Again, all that info's right there, easy to click on. I better get to some Lonzo, y'all guys. I appreciate you joining me. Welcome to season 4. And hey, if you ain't fallen asleep with a Snickers bar in your pocket and rolled over on it, busting it open on a futon this week, you having a pretty good week. We'll see you later.